You know what we haven't done in a little while, Dan?
What's that?
We haven't watched the browser. This is Browser Watch.
I'm ready. Buckle up, folks. We got lots of browser stuff.
Lots. One thing that people have been clamoring for over on the Firefox side has been vertical tabs. That I don't know that we actually reported that came out maybe like a month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. That's not what I have written here because it dawned on me that I don't think we talked about vertical tabs. But vertical tabs are actually no. Okay, maybe we did.
I think we might have mentioned it, but I don't know that we really discussed it. Like how much I love it because I do.
Do you really?
I think I've grown in love with the vertical tab thing.
Interesting.
And so, like, not like the big bar that sticks out there but like the little trimmed up thing. It's like small,
right?
And it just has the little icons and stuff. I don't know. It really cleans the real estate, I think.
You're right. I think actually one of the things about having a taller screen is that you're not so encumbered by all the tab junk and stuff across the top. Yeah. And I think maybe that kind of it encourages me to not use vertical tabs. Or maybe it's just the fact that I've been using since tabs were invented. Who invented that? Would be an interesting history to go into now, wouldn't it? Who invented the tab? Was it Netscape? Was it that early?
Don't know, but it may be. That's a good question. We'll have to go dig on that.
Because I'm remembering Windows XP and Chrome, and I'm pretty sure Chrome had tabs, like from the very beginning. So they must have existed before then. But vertical tabs is a bit of a newer...
That's a newish thing, yeah. There's a few browsers that have that option. But I like the implementation done on Firefox. And like I said, I don't really care so much on my desktop because, I got a bigger screen, more real estate to deal with. I can have all of the stuff out there. But on my laptop, I love it because, it's a widescreen thing. So I got more horizontal real estate. And so chewing up a little bit of that vertical slice on the horizontal real estate is fine. And like I said, I can trim it down so it's just the icons over there on the left. And then, I just think it looks cleaner. Feels like I got more stuff happening that I want to see.
You actually really do, because the whole thing about the vertical tabs is that they should have always been over there in the first place, right? Maybe that would have removed some of the hesitancy that I have with vertical tabs in the first place, because as screens got wider, web pages tended to not. They still have most websites, especially websites with lots of text on them, still have this huge like buffer zone on the left and the right hand side of the page.
Yeah, a lot of pages do. Yeah.
So you go spend like a gajillion dollars on one of those super duper wraparound widescreen monitors or whatever, and it makes no difference.
You got a whole bunch of horizontal space that's useless unless you're tiling things together, which I also do. And still, it gives you more space for that, I think, as well, in a way.
Yep. So
I'm good with the vertical tabs. I kind of like them.
But you've kind of been tinkering with them for a little while because you mess with Vivaldi too.
Yeah, Vivaldi's got stuff that's on the vertical as well. Yeah.
So and they can do the vertical tabs and all of that stuff. My one, it just takes some getting used to, right? I forced myself to kind of play with it a little bit to see if it's really going to stick for me or not. But one thing that really bothers me is that you cannot adjust. Okay, so in Firefox you can pin it. Well, in most browsers you can pin a tab. And it shrinks down to teeny tiny over here, and you're just kind of looking at the icon to know what it is. But what's really cool is that I can pin like a bunch of them, even if they're repeated, like say Mastodon or something like that, right? It would be the same icon if I were logged in.
2 different instances or something, yeah.
Right, but with Firefox, I have the multi-account containers, which puts a color on top of that, so I can differentiate by color and icon. I know what's going on back there. Well, one of the things that you lose when you go to vertical tabs is you can only have like 5 pin tabs before you have to like scroll. Like you have to scroll up and down to see all of your pin tabs. That's a non-starter. I have like 8 at any given time. Like I'm logged into all this stuff for Linux user space, and I'm logged onto it all again for myself. So I have quite a few that just kind of live off to the side or whatever and go to sleep most of the time.
Yeah.
But having that extra step of like kind of tinkering with it before I can get to some stuff is a bit annoying. Whereas using horizontal tabs, the standard style tabs, they just grow and grow and grow and grow.
They do,
and grow.
yeah.
And then you're left with the rest of the space to have regular tabs.
Right. Well, until eventually you get it so that it's only available in the drop-down thing because you have so many.
Well, see, yeah, and if I have too many pin tabs, that happens quicker, and I don't like that. I don't like that either. That's where vertical tabs would come in super handy because they're there. Like it takes many more tabs before you're into like extra innings, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
So, but I need that with the pinned. I need to be able to either resize it or it just needs to keep growing forever. Like that would be fine too.
Well, maybe they'll make some improvement there at some point. But I think this initial step is great. It's great. Yeah, it really is.
Absolutely. It's growing on me. It takes some getting used to, and I guess it's just because I've been using regular tabs for a ton of years. You know, like regular is normal to me.
Well, you can teach this old dog new tricks. So that's all. All I got to say on that.
So Firefox also more recently than a month. This was at the time of recording. This was all announced yesterday. And I did test it, and it does work. You can do this. Tab grouping. So you can now take, say, you know, you're shopping for a TV and you got 18 tabs open trying to compare this LG TV to that Sony TV to that Philips TV to that, you know, on and not Samsung, whatever. And you just want to turn that off for a little bit. If you stack those tabs, like you just drag and drop one tab on top of the other, you'll see it'll like highlight and then drop and then over and over, put all those tabs in there. And then new tabs that you open up will be in that grouping. You can just kind of like minimize those and then it'll go off to the side and it'll be whatever net TV search, you know, name it that.
Right.
And it'll go off to the side and it's really cool. That is something I think that I've heard over and over. And other browsers support tab grouping, tab islands, tab whatever. Why doesn't Firefox? Well, would you look at that? Firefox.
They do now. Yeah.
Focused on the browser, you say.
Oh, stop it.
So now I need to take a tally. Raise your hand if you're coming back to Firefox because they focused on the browser. I just kidding. I can't.
I never left, so there you go.
I can't. I guess I can only put my hand up because I never left. Yeah, but
I mean, so this is gonna, like you said, encourage folks to just leave 10 bajillion tabs open.
I can't understand these people. I don't get it. And even after they explain it to me, how they handle it, which just sounds horrific to me. This is going to encourage them to leave all their tabs open even more because you can sort them now, but there's still 10 bajillion tabs open.
Yeah.
I still don't understand. Like it's a graveyard. It's a graveyard of things you're never going to look at. I don't know why you don't just use the bookmarks. It's the same thing.
Oh, bookmarks are so old. I mean,
so 1998.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know what it is. I think it's Mozilla has gone in with the manufacturers that produce RAM. So, I mean, it's gonna enable RAM sales.
That's what it is.
They got to get the money kickback somehow. This is the way to do it.
I didn't have Micron Mozilla merger on my 2025 bingo. That's got to be what it is, right? This way you can just expand, and never have to refresh your page or reload it or anything.
We're good. We don't have to worry about them sleeping or anything either. They'll just always be ready and cached up and ready to go.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, between vertical tabs and tab groups, man, these are things people have been clamoring for forever.
A long time, yeah.
Right. And, I mean, both of those things you could have gotten done with an extension for a long time.
It's nice to see it native.
Yeah. That's exactly where I'm at, right? Like, I don't like having to install uBlock Origin. I kind of just wish somehow it just came that way.
Right.
Because there's only so much that total cookie protection can possibly do for you.
It helps, but yeah.
And it doesn't kill ads and restructure my website around them. So, But speaking of cookies, though.
And crumbling them.
Not in Firefox.
Not in Firefox.
You remember years and years ago, there was this thing called the GDPR, and as a result of that, web pages, whether they needed it or not, ended up with these stupid little banners down at the bottom or the top or in front or on the left or on the right or just in your face. There were these little...
So interactive, you have to click the right things in the right orders, and
So it's like, hey, can I store cookies on your machine? And you're like, no, and it does it anyway, right? So those banners... Brave is now working to get rid of them. There are extensions out there that can help you do this. But speaking of native,
in the browser
is going to be a native. They call it the Cookiecrumbler.
Yeah.
And they say Cookiecrumbler lets us scale site-specific cookie consent notice blocking across the web. It uses open source LLMs to automate detection, which lets us identify cookie consent notices across all sorts of site-specific variations, including non-English notices. We chose an LLM-based approach to automate the task of identifying notices for a few reasons, among them. It's easier to perform, as cookie consent notices tend to use similar text. It's repetitive, which helps us with the sheer scale of the web. It's low risk, allowing human reviewers to remove false positives upon visual inspection, and it's cheap, as every crawl costs on the order of cents. While we experimented with bigger and more expensive models, smaller models also offered great results after some tweaking. So, before we talk about the implication of the cookie consent banners, we talked about vibe coding last time and how, kind of hitting that line of good usages of AI and not so good usages of AI. Dan, is this a good use of AI?
I mean, it is a bit like using fire to fight fire.
Oh my God, that's so true. Two things we don't want, and we're just going to make them fight. Yes, this is great. I mean,
it's kind of like BattleBots. Just throw them in the ring and see who prevails.
Sparks flying, AI LLMs screaming, fire. Honestly, yeah, I can, okay.
Yeah. Throw them in the cage and see who comes out. I don't know. I think it's okay. I mean,
you've sold me. I'm done. That's the end of the conversation there. It is a good use because I want to see the LLM scream.
yeah, and I don't care if the cookies crumble, so whatever, right?
There we go.
Honestly, it's probably one of the better uses, I think. Because it is one of those. It's a very narrow focus, and that's what AI works well at, right? It's like, do this small task. Don't branch out. Don't try to be sentient. I don't need that. But like, do this little bitty thing, and it's like we've mentioned before. It's predictive modeling, and it's something you can predict, and we can solve the problem.
I predict there will be a cookie notice on this website, and I predict it's going to be the JavaScript that splats something on my screen within 5 seconds of getting there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And a lot of the answers are very similar, so it can adapt to that, I think. I don't know. I'm not opposed.
I think this is great. I do think this is a really good use of AI. I think it's this is the kind of stuff that I want to see out of AI, right? Like, I want it to make my life easier, and spitting out trash facts that aren't true doesn't help me in any way whatsoever. So, obviously don't, and I don't need the chat bot. I don't need to be able to speak with anything. Like, stop that.
Not really.
But this is a good use, right? Because it's making my life easier. And a lot of times, like, these cookie consent banners are just not nice. They're not good in the first place, because not only are they pervasive,
they're tricky. Yeah.
And they have all that dark pattern stuff in it.
Dark patterns, yeah.
Where, like, it pops up and it's like, hey, you want us to store cookies on your machine? And you're like, flip that off, flip that off, flip that off, flip that off. And then the button at the bottom that you think says okay.
It's accept all.
Yeah, it actually re-enables all the stuff that you disabled dark pattern stuff.
It's got Obi-Wan Kenobi sitting back there saying, these are not the cookies you think they are.
Yes. Oh, gross. So they're already playing mind games on you. I don't need that in my life. And I have my doubts that the times that they do give you the option to press the X, like it gives you the feeling of just like, I don't even want to answer.
Away.
So
is it doing the right answer though?
I don't know. I've got my feelings.
What's it decided for me? Yeah.
I think it has decided to opt you into everything.
Accept all. It's the same as hitting the accept all button? Probably is. It probably is.
Honestly, that's some
You'd like
dark
to think it
pattern
was
stuff,
just the minimal thing, but I bet it's not. No, that's not what they want you to click.
No. And Dan and I have been dealing with, getting Ubuntu, getting Fedora, getting that set up for our cool science project. And at least the Ubuntu website's nice about it, right? Like you go.
It's not the most invasive, no.
No, but it does pop up.
It does have a thing.
And it's like, hey, cookies. But it's very easy to just say, no.
Yeah, no, please no.
Yeah, just the basic bare minimum amount of cookies that you're not going to remember anyway because I block cookies anyway. And then you can ask me again and I'm going to be annoyed with you. That's really where an add-on, or in Brave's case, a native cookie destroyer, cookie banner destroyer is so good. So necessary. Just say no to every cookie ever.
I just don't want them. Just go away. I've already made up my mind. It doesn't matter how many times you ask me.
I don't need them. They don't even taste good. I've tried them. It tastes like hard drive.
Yeah, just stop tracking me around.
For real, man. I don't know. I don't know. We were talking before the show that, because we were talking about it in an ads way, where, like, and I've probably said it on this show before, ads would make me upset a whole lot less if we got to this situation where we were just splitting the revenue. Like, the company that was selling my soul got half.
Yeah, Leo has, come out and said that he can be bought.
I can. Oh, and it only cost half of your revenue. Whatever it is you're making off of me, 50% of it. Give me 50% of whatever revenue you're making off of my soul. And I won't install uBlock Origin, man. I won't. You can add me up, and I won't go out of my way to block cookies or whatever. I don't even really have to anymore. Most browsers just kind of do that for me. So, does that get me around some of that, what I'm saying here? Maybe, because, but...
You might have to go just install Dirty Chrome to go participate in that experiment.
Yep, and Chrome finally got rid of their pretending like they were gonna give you like any kind of cookie protection. They finally dropped all of that. Yeah, that just happened like a week ago. Chrome is, I forget the name of it. I meant to have the article in here, but they had just dropped. I wasn't
wrong with Dirty Chrome.
Nope. It's like going out into the internet naked.
Yeah,
it's gross. It feels bad. I don't do that. That's a terrible. Like, if you're gonna use Chrome, go get uBlock Origin Lite. Don't do that. Put a shirt on before you go to the store, man.
Yeah, at least some flip flops. I mean, come on.
Oh God, you're so gross by the time you get home. So do not come in my house with that. That's no.
Exactly. I'm sorry, it's thongs for the Australians.
That's right. For some of you folks, that is thongs. That doesn't fly over here. Not thongs only or anything.
Right. No, flip-flops. Yeah.
So, tab groups, vertical tabs, cool. Firefox is becoming the browser that everybody wanted it to be, and Brave is doing what I need it to do in getting rid of all of most of the annoying things. By the way, I forgot to mention that I do have uBlock Origin installed on pretty much everything, and there is an annoyance. So if you go into the settings of uBlock Origin, you can go, I think it's called like the annoyances or something. And
yeah, I just turned like almost everything on.
Right, as you should, but it's not on by default. You got to go into the annoyances.
There are some that are not on, yeah.
Check that, and it will also block cookie things so that you don't
it's
ever
so
see
nice
them.
to browse around with.
Right. And then Firefox by default blocks the cookies. So done.
Yeah,
Job
I'm all
done.
cleaned up. Yeah.
Right. I just like it when it's native. So Brave deserves a shout out.
That's cool.
For making it native.
They got another native thing too that they announced recently.
Oh, that's right.
And that's the translate stuff. Like Firefox has had that for a little bit now.
Yeah.
As native, they had it as an extension before, and then they incorporated it in because it's crazy popular, and it works really well. And so now Brave's doing that too. Brave will natively translate your stuff, which is
so good.
Kind of nice when you end up on those pages that you can't understand because they're in a language you don't know.
Yep. I mean, we've been saying for a long, long time that browsers are about as complex as an entire operating system. So it's a good thing that now our operating systems inside of operating systems can now translate from other languages, which means we are now able to be exposed to even more content, more ideas, more things. That
I would call it an accessibility feature in a way because
it is.
It gives you accessibility to things that you didn't have before.
That's right. Can it translate some of the gobbledygook that people put in Discord for me? Like, I think it's still English though. So is it like typoed English to regular English? Do you think it could do that?
I don't know that it does that. I don't know that any of them do that. But
might need an LLM for that one.
I was going to say that's where AI could come in and clean that up for you.
Yeah, translate from, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man. So it's good to see. We haven't done one of these browser things in a little while. I'm glad that we did it because these are some really good things. And I really do hope, not tongue-in-cheek, not just being facetious. I really do hope that some of these features that Firefox is implementing really does actually bring people back into the fold of Firefox.
Yeah, they're doing the stuff that you were asking for. They're bringing the features back to the browser.
That's right. PWAs, I don't think that's implemented yet. That's
not
coming.
yet. That's still in beta or alpha. I'm not sure, but it's
I'm
coming.
Excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that. Just because there are a couple of websites that I would like to launch natively, and for those of you audio only, I'm air quoting here. But it'd be nice. It'd be nice, right? It'd be so nice.
Anyway, you can catch all these and other great topics as they unfold on our Lemmy subreddit and our news channel on Discord. So, you can go to the places. That's, linuxuserspace.show/Lemmy, Reddit, Discord, all those things that you love. Mastodon, Telegram, Matrix, Twitch, Twitter, X, whatever we're calling that. That social media thing. Blue Sky, that's a thing.
Yeah, and we got the Instagrams, we got the threads, whatever. Yep. I think they're the same. Are they? I think they're the same thing.
I don't know what that is. I don't have that. Sorry,
it's a different crowd over there.
That makes me not sad that I don't have that.
Well, I mean, stuff does well on threads that gets no interaction anywhere else, and then the reverse is also true. Like it's so weird.
Mastodon seems like one of the best places we have interaction for stuff, feedback, if you will.
I think so. Well, that's because that's where all the nerds are, man. Like the nerds like to congregate over on the Mastodon. Which, I mean, we're nerds. We're there. Like it makes sense. Yep.
But you can get all the show announcements and all the episodes and live streams, all that stuff. We send that out to all those places. So pick your favorite and follow along, and you'll keep in touch.
You said you forgot threads. I forgot threads. I forgot to tell anybody over on threads that we were actually live streaming. Whoops. Maybe next time.
Yeah, we'll do better. That's going to be our motto. We'll do better.
Debatable.
We'll try.